Okay, I'm hoping this is recording. It looks like it perhaps is. So, page 82, you wanted me to go through this. I thought the best way to do this was to just make a quick video and have you listen to me yatter on. So, we're having the same problem. We have these weird numbers, these weird fractions, these mixed fractions, and you want to know how to multiply them. What you could do, well, let's work through the way they've done it. So the problem here is to multiply 5 by 2 and a quarter. Okay. So the step maybe that you're missing is going from here to here is the following. 2 and a quarter is the same as saying 2 plus a quarter. And once we have that, we can go ahead and distribute the multiplication into the parentheses. So we'll get 5 times 2 plus 5 times a quarter. Okay. Now each of these terms uh, are simpler. So 5 times 2 is obviously 10. And the 5 times 1 quarter. So remember when you're multiplying fractions, well, let's look at 5. 5 can be written as 5 over 1, and a quarter is a quarter. And when we multiply fractions together, we multiply numerators together and denominators. So this is only when we multiply. So it's 5 times 1 is 5, and 1 times 4 is 4. Okay. So the next thing to do is to write 5/4 as a mixed fraction or mixed number. So 4 goes into 5 one time, and what's left over is a quarter. So we have 1 and a quarter. Now we can continue this addition by adding the whole parts together. So the 10 and the 1 to get 11. And we still have this quarter. So it's 10. It's 11 and a quarter. So that's what they're doing up here. Right, we agree with what they have. So, what's another way we could have done this? Well, another way we could have done this. So let's write the same problem. 5 times 2 and a quarter is to change this mixed number into just a fraction. So that would be equivalent to 5 times, so we multiply the 4 and the 2 to get 8, and then we add the numerator to get 9. So it's 9 over 4. Then we do the multiplication. So again, just as before, we're multiplying two fractions. 5 times 9 is 45, and 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, so the question now is how many times does 4 go in to 45? Well, it goes in 11 times, because 11 times 4 is 44. But there's one left over, so that means we have 11 and a quarter. So we get the same result either way. You could do it the second way, or you could do it the first way. It's up to you. Okay, let's look at their second example. What is the area of the floor of a rectangular room measuring that by that? Okay, so here, again, they're multiplying fractions together or mixed numbers. So it's 12 and a half times 15 and a third. So let's write this out. So 12 and a half times 15 and a third. Okay, so what do we do with this? Well, we could, well, the way they've done it, okay, is kind of confusing. So what they've said is that 12.5 can be written as 12 plus a half. And they've multiplied that by 15 and a third. Okay, so we can distribute the 15 and a third, that multiplication, into the parentheses. So that we'll have 12 times 15 and a third plus a half times 15 and a third. Okay, so that kind of matches up with this right here. I've written it in a little bit different form. I've omitted the multiplication signs, but it's essentially the same thing. Okay, so then they split up this 15 and a third. So it's really 12 times 15 plus a third. And it's really 1/2 times 15 plus a third. All right, you can see this is getting messy. So let's do the multiplication. So 12 times 15 is looks like it's 180. So we have 180 when we do the distributive property, and then 12 times a third is 4. Then we do a half times 15, which is 15 over 2. And then we do 1/2 times a third. 1/2 times a third. Again, we multiply numerators and denominators together to get a 6. Okay, so we can go ahead and add the whole part. So that's 184 plus. Now look at these two fractions. We want to add them together. The best way to do that is to find a common denominator. So the common denominator between these two is going to be a 6, or this 6 here. So to make 15 over 2 have a denominator of 6, we can multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3. If we do that, we get 45 over 6. All right, so let's look what this becomes. So this becomes 45 over 6 plus 1 over 6. And we get 184 plus 46 over 6. Good. Okay, so now the question is, can we reduce, or maybe we can write this 46 over 6 as a whole number, or rather a mixed number. So we have 184 plus 6 goes into 48 7 times to get 42. So we'll get 7, and we're left with 4 left over. So we're left with 4 6s. Or we're left with 7, and 4 6s is really 2/3. We can simplify that. This is what we have. We have 84 plus 7 and 2/3. So we can combine these. We can add the 84 and the 7 to get 191. And we have this 2/3 still. So 191 and 2/3 is the result. And I'm hoping if we scroll up, that is the answer. That's right. Okay, you could have also have done this problem a much simpler way, and that would have been, so that's this one right here. So let's just label that as 3, is to change these into just fractions. So that would be equivalent to 25 over 2 times 46 over 3. Then do the multiplication and then simplify. I think this is a much easier way. So if we do this, 25 times 46. Not something I know off the top of my head, but let's just do it. I'm just doing it on a piece of paper right now. Hopefully I'm doing it right. Carry the 1, 9, 0, 5. So it's 1,150. 1,150 over 6. So now it comes down to simplifying this. I'm guessing if we do this, well, let's do it in long division. So 6 divides 1150. So 6 goes into 11 one time. So we'll get 6. We can subtract those to get 5. Bring down the 5. It goes in 9 times. We're going to get 191 in the numerator. This is 54. Subtract, we get 1. Bring down the 0. 6 goes into 10 one time, and we have 4 remaining, and we subtract. Okay, so what this means is that 6 goes into 1,150 191 times, and there's 4 remaining. And just as before, we can simplify that fraction to 2/3, which is the same result we got over here. So you can choose to either keep them as mixed numbers or convert them just to a fraction. I think converting them to a fraction is better, but it's really whatever the question asks you to do and whatever you feel comfortable. You have to balance the two, because if you're asked to keep them as whole numbers, then you have to do it that one way. Okay, I hope this has helped. I'm just going to stop the recording, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay, take care.